I'm definitely, I'm happy. Did I charge my camera? I was sitting here thinking that I was gonna have to charge my camera after this, but I must have already charged it because it says it's full battery. I don't remember doing that. Anywho, what was I saying? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. We're gonna be doing a very needed video. I don't know about you guys, but I tend to start a series and then pick up another one and just never read like the next. I have a hard time finishing series is what I'm trying to say. Let's figure this out. I'm currently in the middle of 17 series. Not the greatest. I have been finishing some series recently, okay, but I have been starting a lot more series than I have been finishing, and it is a real problem. A lot of the books on my TBR are books that are part of the series. So, in today's video, we are going to be continuing series I'm in the middle of. I really want it to be finishing series I'm in the middle of, but a lot of these books that I have are in the middle of series. That being said, I have 3 books that I'm hoping to get done in today's video. Yeah. It's a big stack, and I also have a self-imposed deadline of, okay, it's a Wednesday as I'm recording this, and I want to be done with all these books by like Friday. That's not gonna happen. I know that's not gonna happen. I'm setting out with like unachievable goals, but it's fine. So let me introduce to you the books that I'm hoping to read in today's video. The first book I have is Heartless. This is the second book in the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. This series is like a cowboy romance series, I believe. And this book specifically has a single dad and a babysitter, I believe. Anyways, I read Flawless for a 24-hour reading challenge video, and I loved that book. Literally almost finished it in one whole sitting. So I'm hoping the same can be said for Heartless, and I know this is a lot of people's favorite in the series. And then the next book I have is Michael Vey, Battle of the Ampere. This is the 3rd book in the Michael Vey series, which is a very long series, but they're short. It's a young adult sci-fi series, which basically follows Michael Vey, who has these electric powers, and it turns out that he is not the only kid with electric powers, and there is a school run by a evil Dr. Hatch that tries to basically recruit Michael to be part of his school, and yada yada yada. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in this series. The second book left off in quite the cliffhanger, so I'm very excited to be getting back into the series and figuring out what happens to Michael, because I am so concerned for him right now. And the last book that I'm hoping to read in today's video is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This is the 2nd book in the Empyrean series. I hope I'm saying that right. Empire? I'm not positive. The first book is Fourth Wing, though. I kind of want to count this as like technically I'm not finishing the series, but it's finishing the series as of right now because this is the most recent one published. So I feel like it should count. Especially because the 3rd book doesn't come out till January of 2025. This is a fantasy romance series. I read Fourth Wing for the Best Books of 2023 video that I did, and I absolutely loved it. I ate it right up, and I gave it, I think, like 4.5 stars. So I'm really, really excited for Iron Flame. It's so big though, like, this is bigger than my head, okay? Those are the 3 books that I'm hoping to read. It's gonna be tough. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to actually finish all of these books in the next 3 days. Probably not. So this video could be coming out later than I wanted it to. However, I'm super, super excited for this. I'm gonna try my best not to give out too many details and give out spoilers since these are part of a series. That being said, I believe the first book I'm gonna start with is actually Michael Vey because it's pretty short, so I feel like I can get through it really quickly, and I'm really excited. So I will come back with an update once I've gotten a little bit through it. 128 pages in on part 4. I'm almost like halfway in. Obviously, I can't tell you too much about it because I don't want to give you spoilers. Pretty crazy so far. Pretty crazy. A lot of the characters are split up right now, so we're jumping around quite a bit. And one thing that I really like that Richard Paul Evans does is that we get sections and chapters from the villain's point of view. Kind of. It's like third person point of view, but it still like follows his mindset, I guess. If that makes sense. You can still read his thoughts. I don't know why, but it's always like pretty interesting seeing what he has to say and what he has to think. And during a particular section of this book, part 3 to be specific, he was kind of going crazy. He was kind of popping off. Okay? I don't know what to say. Also, Austin in this book, literally, he did something and I wrote down, I made an annotation, live, laugh, love Austin, because he's so cute in this one. Like, I can't go into further details, but that being said, didn't skim through, I like flipped through really quickly to see if there were any other parts to this book. Already 3 parts in the first 100 something pages, so I was curious if there was going to be like a part 5, part 6, and I couldn't see any. So I'm curious if like they're all gonna start converging narratives in this point, or from this point on. So I'm curious to see how it'll all come together at the end. Definitely really enjoying it so far. It is almost 5 o'clock in the morning. I've been doing homework and stuff, so it's not like I've just been reading this book, but I'm probably gonna go to bed soon. That's my update for where I'm at right now in Michael Bay, and the next time I see you probably be when I finish it. I'm gonna get back to reading though. Alright, hi, it's Friday now. I didn't vlog at all yesterday because I did something really fun and I went to Sweet Tomatoes. And if you don't know what that is, I feel like everyone should know what that is. Sweet Tomatoes is this like buffet style restaurant that closed in 2020. It was probably one of the most heartbreaking experiences of my whole life. And they reopened one location all the way down in Tucson, Arizona. And so my boyfriend and I drove 2 hours there to eat food and drove 2 hours back. It literally, almost everything tasted exactly the same because it's under new ownership, so I was worried the recipes would be different, but they weren't. And the best part, the blueberry muffins, exactly the same. They were so good. Oh my goodness. Anywho, that being said, I stayed up obscenely late last night, early this morning, to finish the 3rd Michael Bay book, Battle of the Ampere. I definitely really enjoyed this book. I think it was super fast paced, and I think I even liked it more than the second book. Definitely not more than the first book. I think I like this one more than the second book though. Yeah, it was just super fast paced and the chapters are so short and easy to get through. And I also love that each chapter, they're titled chapters and the titles have meanings within the book, like within that chapter. I really loved seeing Michael's development in this book. I feel like he really grew a lot as a character, and I think Jack grew a lot as a character. Almost all the characters I really loved in this book, except we get introduced to one character and I did not like them. I did not like them at all. And I hope I like them in later books because they seem to be a very important character going forward. I don't want to give spoilers, but that character was just so annoying to me the whole time. And then the other thing that like really not annoyed me, but I was like, really, with this book, is that one could assume, because this is a young adult sci-fi book with 9 books in the series, that each book follows like a different mission or something, you know what I mean? So they finish their mission and they're given like 1 day to rest before they're like, actually, we need you to go and do this. Can they not even go home and see their families? Can you please give them 1 second to recuperate? That's not, I don't even think that's a real word. Just give them 1 second to like rest and, you know, just give them some time before you just immediately throw them into the next impossible mission you want them to do. That being said, I'm definitely going to continue on in the series because I'm interested. Well, obviously I'm interested. I really like these books. They're super fast and easy to read, so I finished that, which means it's time to start Heartless by Elsie Silver. I'm so excited. I am highly anticipating this book. This is I I'm pretty sure I already said this, but it's the second book in the Chestnut Spring series. I have really high expectations for this book, especially because a lot of people say this is their favorite in the series. It is like interconnected standalone, so I feel like I can tell you more about what happens in this book compared to this one. Like, I feel like I could not give you a synopsis of this one, but I should be able to give you a synopsis of this one because it is an interconnected standalone series. So this is the next book I'm reading. Very excited. I will come back with an update once I have one. I'm back with a mid-chapter update because tell me why I am giggling over the fact that he smiled at her. He smiled. He smiled. See, this is the issue. This is why I can't read grumpy sunshine romances or just grumpy anything, because it's the smallest things that'd be like, ah. This book follows Willa and Cade, and Willa is the best friend of the FMC from the first book, Flawless, and Cade is the brother of the MMC. And there's like kind of spoilers about what happens between Rhett and Summer, but at the same time, it's still like, it doesn't focus on that really. So Cade is a single dad, and I think they're married. His wife left him a long time ago with their son, Luke, who is now 5 years old. He runs the ranch that this whole family lives on. Since it is the summertime and Luke is out of school, he needs someone to stay in his house to watch Luke while Cade does his chores around the ranch, I guess. And so he has to hire a nanny, and he ends up hiring Willa, and she has never worked with kids before. She is actually a bartender, but her bar is being shut down for the summer for renovations, and so she's kind of out of a job. She doesn't necessarily need the money, but she just needs something to do, so she ends up moving into Cade's house and being a nanny for this little boy, Luke. It's going super well so far. The meet cute is insane. If you've I don't want to tell you what it is because it's not on the back of the book, so if you read this book, you know what I mean, but the way they meet is insane. I'm a little nervous because sometimes I feel like when there's a kid in the book, it can be like super cheesy the way the parent talks about them, which like of course every parent's gonna think that way. It's not fair of me to judge, I guess, but it's really cute Luke in this book because he's not just like this perfect angel all the time. Like, he does get in trouble, so I like that. I like that he's not just super amazing the whole book. Because, like, sometimes they'll be like, oh, the kid is just too perfect in the book. Like, they don't do anything wrong. I'm like, that's just not realistic. Kids get in trouble, you know? As I was saying, definitely really, really enjoying this book so far, though. And, yeah. I just had to give you an update because I literally sat here mid-page, mid-chapter thinking, oh my god, this guy is so perfect, after he smiled at Willa. He is such a grumpy little rancher boy, and she's not having it. She literally won't have it. That's my update. I'm liking it. I like the characters. I love the tension between Willa and Cade, especially after how they met at the beginning of the book. And I'm not full-blown annotating this, but I already have tabs because Willa says, like, last chapter, she goes, how did I get to the point where I'm analyzing the way a man scowls at me? Girl, I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading though. I fell asleep on wet hair, so bear with me if I look a little crazy. But I am 284 pages into Heartless. Yeah, no, apparently I really like if the main character gets sick and the love interest has to take care of them. I guess I like that. I guess that's my new favorite trope because it was so sweet. It is Saturday, which means I did not finish this video in the schedule that I wanted to, and I don't know when I'll finish this video because I'm supposed to read Iron Flame, and that is a massive book, but I should be able to get through the rest of this today easy. Like, look how quickly I read all of this. I started this last night and read this much already. I don't know why I decided to record because normally I don't do this many updates for a book. I definitely think cowboy romances hit different for me, you know? I don't know what it is about it. Apparently I really like them. I so badly just want to like lay down in bed and watch YouTube or something, but I can't do that. I need to be a productive human being. So I'm gonna wash my sheets to force myself not to be able to lay in bed. I will come back with updates as soon as I have them, but I'm definitely still really enjoying this book. Should be over somewhat quickly for me. I swear to gosh, I really hope there's not a third act breakup. I don't want a third act breakup to ruin this for me. And if it's miscommunication one too, that's gonna ruin the whole book. Cause right now it's sitting at a pretty high rating. It could even be a 5-star. We'll see. I'll come back once I finish the book though, and I will let you know. I just finished Heartless. Literally sat here. Sun was setting. It's getting dark. Can barely read the pages. Just to read the last couple pages of this book. And I can see why it's everyone's favorite. The end. I was not expecting that, by the way. No one warned you. It's like a spoiler. They shouldn't tell you. But that ending actually jaw dropped, teary-eyed throughout the rest. I have nothing else to say. It was great. I loved it, obviously. I do like it better than Flawless, and I gave Flawless 5 stars, so I think you can probably guess what I'm rating this one. Definitely recommend this book. Definitely recommend this series, honestly. I just love the little cowboy romances. But that means we're on to the last book for this video, which is Iron Flame, the absolute brick that is this book. And this is actually me finishing a series as of what is currently published, so that's nice. I'm highly anticipating this book. I'm gonna get started on it. It's just so massive. And it's like a hardcover, and I hate reading hardcovers. Like, they're just so uncomfortable to hold. Gonna die soon, so I'm super quickly gonna give you an update on Iron Flame. By the way, it's also Tuesday, and I said I wanted to finish this on Friday. I am 240 pages into Iron Flame. This book is so big, guys. Why is it this massive? I don't even think I told you what this book was, what this series was about. I'm not gonna be able to explain it well, because it's a very convoluted plot, I feel like. It's about this girl named Violet who goes into the writers quadrant school in this war college. No, my camera's not even gonna make it, never mind. My camera did indeed die. I don't even know when I'm editing this if I'm gonna include that part where I was trying to update you about my progress in Iron Flame and my camera literally died on me, but it did do that. And then I went to go get the new Emily Henry book because that came out today. And on my way home, I ran over a nail and got a flat tire. My first one since ever owning my own car. But luckily, my boyfriend was the absolute hero of the day and put my spare tire on, but now I have to go deal with all that. I'm just jazzed about it. I'm so excited. Anywho, I was supposed to be updating you about Iron Flame. So basically, I think I was trying to tell you what this series is about. Violet goes into the writers quadrant at this war college. They were practically training soldiers, but they're not quite infantry. They're special because they get dragons. They also happen to die. More than 2/3 of their class dies by the end of the first year. So it's a very deadly war college experience type thing. And in the first book, she has a few challenges to overcome because not only is she not the her body type doesn't match that of a typical writer, she also happens to be in the same college as her enemy, I guess. One of her captains, leaders, he's in his 3rd year, Zayden. His dad started this rebellion that was squashed by the government, actually squashed by Violet's mom. Basically what I'm trying to say, it's an enemies to lovers, okay? Enemies to lovers fantasy romance with dragons. But yeah, I am 240 pages in and a lot has happened, but at the same time it feels like nothing has happened in these 240 pages. I'm also kind of a little pissed off right where I ended my reading so far, because this character, like, who dies in the first book comes back to life in the second book. And I'm like, you just can't do that. Like, I don't really like when fantasies do that and use some sort of magical excuse for that. I'm rambling. It just kind of feels like a cheap shot to bring back this character. But other than that, I'm liking it so far. I think it's, yeah, like I said, it's just kind of going slow. And I don't really love where Xaden and Violet are in their relationship right now. Can't say much else because that'd be a spoiler, but think Olivia Rodrigo's one step forward, three steps back. That's how I feel about their relationship. I was hoping to be able to read the rest of this today, but now I'm not so sure if I'm going to be able to do that. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated on my tire situation. I'll update you first about my car. Guess who needs new tires? This girl. I took my car to Discount Tire after I updated you last to see if I could get the tire patched where the nail went in. They were unable to do that because the nail was 7 inches long, and as you saw, it bent, and so I guess it scratched the like sidewall of the tire and whatever. They couldn't fix it. So I have one new tire, and then I'm gonna go back to my parents' place in California and get 4 new tires because my dad is in the car business, kinda. So he's gonna help me out with that. But yeah, that's the car situation, the tire situation. I did end up finishing Iron Flame yesterday. I've said it so many times in this video, but this book is just so massive, so pretty proud of myself for getting through it, honestly. Where do I even start? I know in my last update I said it was kind of like slow, or like it felt kind of slow, that there were things happening, but at the same time it felt like nothing was happening, and I feel like that's true for almost the whole book. I will say the last like 250 pages actually started picking up and got a lot more enjoyable for me, and I literally sat there and read the last 250 pages in one sitting, so I was like really happy with this book and all the action that was happening and all the stuff we were learning. Granted, there was so many new names and concepts that you were kind of learning in this book, and it kind of felt overwhelming. However, I was still eating it up. I was super intrigued. I thought the world building was great and everything. And then the end, literally the last 6 pages, maybe 5 pages, ruined. I was so annoyed with what happened at the end. Not that it's ruined the book for me, I just wish it didn't happen. And if you've read this book and you know what happens at the end, let me know if you feel the same way, because I was just so frustrated and I feel like it shouldn't have happened. Definitely left me with a lot of questions, but in like, not in a bad way. I felt like all the questions I had leaving the first book were answered. And so now obviously it's setting us up for the third book. I think I'm just most annoyed that I have to wait until January to read the next book. How am I supposed to wait that long? See, this is why I like reading series that have already been fully published. That way I don't have to like wait a year in between each book. That's just my personal preference. But yeah, other than that, I really enjoyed it. I just really love the friendship, like the friend group in this book. I feel like it grows really well. I feel like it was really good in the first book, but I feel like it really narrows it down to a set of people who I just love each of them individually, kind of like a found family type thing. I don't think it needed to be 623 pages. Like, there was a lot of moments in here where I was like, is this necessary? Do I need to be reading about this? Why are we not getting back to the bigger action at hand? You know what I mean? That was the last book I'm reading for this video, and I will dive into my ratings. So for Michael Vey, Battle of the Ampere, I'm giving this one 4 stars. I really liked it. I just had one character that annoyed me the whole time, and so that's maybe what brought it down to a 4. Still really good though, and obviously gonna be continuing on the series. And then I read Heartless, and this was a 5 stars. This one was so cute. I'm just a little cowboy romance girl. Don't hate on me for that. I think that the tropes in this book were perfection. There were tropes that I didn't even know that I liked, that I realized are my favorite tropes in this book. Thank you, Elsie Silver, for that. Obviously, 5 stars. And then Iron Flame, I ended up giving this one 4 stars. I think I gave Fourth Wing 4.5. I did not like this one as much as Fourth Wing, so I'm giving it 4 stars. I still really obviously love the characters, and I forgot to mention this earlier, but I feel like Tern, if you know who he is, I feel like his personality really develops in this book, and I just love him. I love him to pieces in this book. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name right. So yeah, 4 stars for this one as well. But yeah, let me know what series you guys are currently in the middle of, and yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!